Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another edition of A Mummer Story. Today, I have my good friend and South Philly string band member, Joe Yoa. Good morning, Joey.
Morning, John. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good, man.
Yo, you guys kicked it this year, brother.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate that.
Yeah. So let's jump into it. Tell everybody, how did you get introduced to mummery?
So actually, unlike those other guys you interviewed, wasn't that long ago. I've been about 8 years total now. It was right before the 2014 parade. A good friend of mine is in Polish American string band, and he had mentioned that they needed help, marshalling, pushing props. It's something I always wanted to do, but never knew how to get involved. I thought you had to know somebody. I thought you had to play an instrument just to be involved with string bands. So I did it and loved it. I was instantly hooked. So I joined, a couple months after New Year's Day. I've been in it ever since.
So what instrument do you play, Joe?
I play alto saxophone.
Yeah, what's the difference? Is that what it's all called, or do you have saxophone and do you have the saxophone that you spoke of?
So you have there's a few different types. There's alto, tenor, then there's bass saxophone and baritone sax.
Cool, cool, cool. Yeah, I don't know too much about instruments, so uh were you always with South Philadelphia String Band, or?
No, so I started with Polish American. I was there 2014 was my first parade, 2018 was my last parade. And then I joined South Philly in 2018.
All right, here's my not too incriminating question, but what would be the difference, would you say, between Polish American String Band and South Philly String Band?
There's not too much of a difference. South Philly String Band right now is a bigger band. As far as membership goes. I mean, they're both great bands, great organizations. I guess that's the only difference. Really the size of the bands at this point. Yeah, that's really it.
Do you think that the size of the bands, because in my eyes, that's where I pretty much, as a viewer, that's where I see a lot of the differences. To me, it seems like the bigger bands are getting the better prizes because maybe of the more members, I guess more instruments, the louder the music. Could that be the case?
I mean, I think that's part of it, but it's the bigger band overall, I guess, has an advantage when it comes to fundraising. There's more people involved in it. Financially, everybody pays dues, so you're getting more dues from more members. And then the overall work around the club and getting stuff ready for New Year's Day, we have more helping hands. So it is definitely, I think a bigger band has a more advantage. But when it comes to the show on the street, it's not always the size of that matters. You can make it work with a smaller band.
Describe your very first parade. You're kind of new into mummery anyway, fairly new, I guess I should say. So describe your very first parade. What emotions were going through you?
So my first parade in general, which was Polish American 2014, I was a marshal. It was the last year we actually marched up Broad towards City Hall. So I at least got to experience that once. And the adrenaline was crazy. Like, going into the day, I didn't know what to expect too much. I heard a lot of stories from guys who've been doing it for a long time. Then we get on the street, we're putting the props together, and we start marching towards City Hall. And as you march closer, obviously the building gets bigger, and you start getting butterflies in your stomach as you get closer. Like every time you do your routine, you're just building more and more adrenaline because, the next one, every one got bigger and better. And then that last one right before you hit City Hall, it was all adrenaline, emotion. Everybody, you hear everybody saying, "This is it. It's game time. It's go time." Like, it's the build up to City Hall was awesome. It was like your finish line, or you had little battles you won throughout, and then you get to City Hall, and that's where the war is at. It's game on. So that was cool. And then, the party afterwards was great. Polish American does Allegheny Ave, which of course, that's always a great time. That was one of my favorite things about New Year's Day with Polish American was Allegheny Ave. And then my first year in suit was 2018. So it was first year in suit, but it was the coldest parade. I think it's the second coldest parade in history. So it was kind of a miserable day, but I was trying to enjoy it, and I did. I think the adrenaline, being my first in suit, the fact I was in a costume that was pretty heavy was, the cold didn't bother me too much, other than the horn freezing up. But so yeah, my first parade in suit, they're both great experiences. My first parade overall. Every parade though is something. Everyone's different, and it's great. Everyone's a great time, no matter what the prize was at the end of the day, or it's like our Super Bowl. I mean, it's one we build up all year long for that one day, and it's a great feeling.
The years you were involved in the Mummers, what would have been your most favorite performance?
Probably, I mean, it had to be 2020, I guess. I mean, the performance was the show was amazing. The costumes, the props, the gimmicks, the stuff that really hasn't been done before, and it was overall great show, great day. It was an emotional day, emotional roller coaster, up and down pretty much throughout the day, and then being at the club and hearing that we got first. It was a feeling that, I mean, you kind of get it every time, like the same feeling this year, but nothing like 2020. Like there's a video of me somewhere, I just like bawling my eyes out, a little embarrassing, but in the same sense, it's like that was like the emotion to build up all day and just finally let out. You know what I mean? The hard work you put in for, mum season technically, I guess, starts in like September, October. That's when you're really going, hardcore to get the steam off the ground. But it's all year long.
So let's talk about that, the hard work, and it takes a lot of commitment, a lot of dedication. Here's
John, can I stop you for a second and say that this interview is brought to you in part by the Fresh Works at Port Richmond?
Absolutely, dude.
Make sure you get your wings for Super Bowl Sunday.
Absolutely. Yeah, listen, and I'm going to tell everybody too. Philadelphia has a wide variety of great foods, and I'm going to be 100% honest with you. And not that Joe's my friend. In Port Richmond, the Fresh Works, in my eyes, has one of the best wings in the Philadelphia area.
Thanks, I appreciate that.
Get your wings. I have work this weekend, Joe, so I'm not going to be able to swing by. I'll be at headquarters. So, like I was saying, it takes a lot of commitment and a lot of not just from you guys, but from your wife. Now you have a wife, you have two young kids. Explain to everybody, what that takes, and also the dedication from the wives, and most importantly, what do your kids think about you being a mummer, dressed up in that costume and going down Broad Street?
Yeah, so it's definitely a big commitment to the wives and families, especially, I own a restaurant, so, not a lot of time off in general. And then, Tuesday nights is our rehearsal night. So pretty much every Tuesday I'm at the club. And then, we do jobs throughout the year. We do parades and concerts that are on weekends, some are weeknights. Some of that stuff they get to go to, you know what I mean? But a lot of it is me being away. So it's work and then string band. And then it kicks up again, like I said, in September, October. It becomes, Sunday and Tuesday, and then Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday. So, 3 out of 4 days a week, you're out of rehearsal for a few hours. But the kids love it. During the year, they don't like, oh, Dad, you're going to string band. You know what I mean? But then as it gets closer, they like seeing, the costumes. They come to the dress rehearsal, and New Year's Day, of course, they love that. But yeah, I mean, I got to give credit to my wife, all the wives involved in string band and significant others, whatever you want to call it. But it's a lot of commitment. Especially there's different levels of commitment too. Like I'm a basic member. I go to the rehearsals, I go to the jobs. I mean, there's guys that go to rehearsals, go to the jobs, and then go to the theme meeting on Monday night and the board meeting on Wednesday night or whatever it might be. So there's and there's guys that live at the warehouse for 2 months building props, and it's there's different levels of commitment.
So,
Family support has been great.
yeah. So again, Mummery, as you can see in a lot of my past videos, a lot of the guys said, they were born into it. Let me ask you this question. Do the Yoa children, or is there any interest in there? Do you see anything coming up? Like, do they want to jump in this or what?
Yeah, well, Anna's she's so our string band it's an all male organization. So she's kind of on the outside as just like, it's daddy's thing, and she loves it for that. She loves being on the sidelines. I'm sure she'll get involved. I want to get her to play an instrument. If she decides that she wants to join a band, great. But she hasn't. She's 8. She hasn't really like said she wanted to do it. Just she likes her kind of what she does now. She's my little cheerleader. And then my son, he's about to be 4. So I'm definitely going to push him in that direction, and take a little older, take him to some rehearsals, and I definitely want to get them both playing music, because I didn't play music as a kid. I didn't start until I got in string band. Guys in the band taught me, and I wish it was something I would have did a lot younger, for more reasons than string band. Music's, it's a great thing to know. I forget who told me this. Somebody just told me recently. They're like, their parents told them, like, they're skateboarding or whatever, and they're like, you'll always play an instrument. Like, when you get my age, their dad was like, you're not gonna be able to ride that skateboard anymore, but that instrument you'll be able to play it the rest of your life. I think it was somebody in the club that told me that, and that's the truth. You always have music. There's no limit to age limit or anything on music.
So here's
So I want to get involved in music.
Awesome. Here's a 2-part question. I posed it as one each, but so your first parade, or even now, like, I mean, because the Mummers parade on New Year's Day is, like you said, it's the Super Bowl. So what was your adrenaline like your first parade? And not just that, you guys are the next up at the judging area. You're ready to go. You hear the marshal or whatever the guy is start blowing his whistle for you guys. What adrenaline's going through you?
Your heart's racing from the minute you hear the announcer announce that the string band in front of you is done. It's go time. You guys are, everybody's shaking hands, hugging, high fiving. Let's go. Let's do this. Go have fun out there. This is it. Like, all different. You hear all different things from different people, and the more you hear it, your heart's just beat. It's pure adrenaline. So, and somebody said it before me. There's so much adrenaline pumping through you that 4.5 minutes you don't even remember. Like, there's been times where I get done, like, especially 2020. I get done. The judges stand, we turn the corner of City Hall, and we're kind of congregating and talking about everything. I'm like, I hope I moved. Like, I don't even know if I moved. And then you look back at you look back at it, you're like, wow, like, all that went on around me, and I had no idea. Because when as you're walking closer, there's big, what I mean, like a stadium almost, and it's it's pure adrenaline. There's no one else explaining, and that's playing member Marshall. Like, I always had the same feeling. You know what I mean? It was just game on as soon as you walk in there.
So let me ask you this question. Do you have a least favorite performance? Not that in a bad way, but you maybe think it could have been better. You guys could have been a little bit louder.
I wouldn't say my least. I don't have a least favorite. They were all, both bands I was in are super creative with their themes, and I think 2015 with Polish American, we did a farm theme, and I was still fairly new, so it didn't mean a whole lot to me. But now looking back and watching those themes over and over again, it was one that I felt that, not that we could have did better, but we could have placed a little better. I felt like that was the only disappointing theme, I guess, for me. Other than that, everything. And then like I said, 18 was rough because of the weather. I think everybody you interview is going to bring up 18 as a negative experience for the most part. But yeah, I don't have a least. They're all different. Everyone was different. You know what I mean?
So you're getting ready for your first performance, whether it's just outside the clubhouse, loading a bus, or just offloading, or even maybe I don't know 10 minutes prior to go time at the judges area.
Mm.
Being a new member, who was it that gave you that advice, or what kind of advice did they give you?
Um, so I don't really remember anybody specifically, but I have a lot of friends that have been involved in string bands since they were kids. We're all in our 30s and 40s, so a lot of it came from those guys, and it was basically it was a lot of go have fun out there, do what you've been doing, go have fun, or basically have fun. That's what at least like getting into the day, and then um right before judges stand, there's always a pep talk by somebody, whether it be the captain, drill director, music director, or all three. And I think one of the key things, like especially this year, and it makes sense every year, is we were told do your part. Like we each individual got taught something, and if we had worried about was what we had to do, you know what I mean, and just do it the way we were taught. And so that's really the only advice. It was always go have fun, and because winning's great, but if you're not having fun doing it, what's the point? You know what I mean? It's you don't get nothing. You get a trophy, and bragging rights like somebody else mentioned, but yeah, you gotta have fun doing it.
And that leads me into my next question. Some mummers do it, as you can see some of the videos. They say, you know what, they can care less if they haven't won because they haven't won yet. And then you have others that say, no, winning is the drive because that's the motivation. So in your perspective, where does it stand with you? Is it about winning, or is it just putting on a good performance?
So, simple answer, yeah, it's about winning. You don't dedicate as much time and energy and effort to something if you don't want to succeed at. But overall, it's a hobby. It's supposed to be fun. It's very family oriented, and I've made friendships that are last a lifetime. Between guys in Polish American and now South Philly, and but ultimately, everybody should be going out there to win, and not win in the sense of always being first place either. Like there's small wins that bands move up a place each year and gain membership and gain attraction and build off that. And it's those little wins. So I guess winning might not be the best thing to put. Maybe it's competition. I think for me, it's 100% about the competition. And that's what got me involved. Like I joined on New Year's Day pretty much, and that was it was a competition for me. It wasn't anything else, and I was a marshal, so it was competition and then break down the props. It was kind of like work, but fun. And it was because of the competition. So I just think it's instead of, it's not 100% about winning, but it's 100% about the competition. I think I said competition like 150 times in that last that last paragraph, but it is what it is.
So here's my favorite question, and the reason why it's my favorite question is because I don't always see things the way the judges do. So in your eyes, how do you think the judge? Is the judging in your eyes good? Could it be better?
It's hard to answer. Considering we won the last 2 years in a row, so of course we like the judges. But I actually asked the question to another person. It was presented more or less the fans possibly judging. I don't know if that answer, because as a fan you have obviously different string bands you might like, different biases, and then you're seeing it's all with your eyes pretty much for the most part. You like what you see, you're going to vote yes for it or whatever, give it a higher score. But there's definitely, like, I think ex string band guys for girls who have musical knowledge and then the visual performance aspect of it, like a group of ex mummers, I think would be a good fit. Not that these judges are bad, but like somebody else said, like they don't really know what they're looking for. You know what I mean? So to um, they're critiquing on, you know, how the music's played, and then how it goes with the theme. And the music needs to match what you're doing, drill wise, prop wise, and all that stuff. So I think like an extra string band people would be a better fit. Now, granted, I think you would get some rumblings of like, oh well, that guy used to be in this band, that's why he. So you, to be fair, you got to keep it outside. But if you just for whatever reason we went a different route and need to find our own judges, it would, I think 100% have to be ex string band people that know what they're listening for, know what they're looking for. And in some aspects, they'll be better. As long as they're fair, they'll be better than I think the judges we have now. But I don't think if you put those judges in front of these past performances, I don't think the placing of the bands would be much different. You know what I mean? A band who's got seventh might get sixth or something like, you know what I mean? I don't think it would be like a drastic, like somebody who got like, you know, eighth or ninth would win the parade, but by a switching of judges. It's not that drastic.
Nice. So let's turn this into a little bit of a show and tell. Do you have anything with you that you wanted to show to anybody? Any kind of memorabilia, any kind of photos? What do you got?
Let me see here. I was telling you, I wanted to get the I wanted to get the trophy for you, but didn't have time. So I got this from 2020. See if I can get out of the way here.
That looks good, man.
Good. Yeah,
well, you're handsome too, Joe. So it looks good, even if you're in that photo.
I'm sorry to show you the picture. The middle trophy is the trophy. That's the first place string band trophy, and then the trophy over here, that's the captain's trophy. Our captain Danny Planinger got first in 2020 and 22, and the one you really can't see over this side, where's that?
Yeah,
right behind me is the Viewer's Choice. We got the Viewer's Choice Award in 2020.
Right. Very
so
cool.
And that's coming up. I think we'll know about that by the end of February.
Well, it's been fun, Joe, and you know, I miss seeing you at the Fresh Works. You know, unfortunately, I had some opportunities to move my career, so I do miss seeing you guys. Yeah. And you know, anybody out there, you get a chance in Port Richmond. Was it Belgrade Street, Joe? What's the address over there?
2634 Belgrade. It's like Belgrade and Huntington.
And trust me, fellas,
we're a little hidden with all the new development, but we're still there.
Dude, when I pulled up the other day when I got my wings for the playoff game, I thought I was lost for a minute there, and I'm like, no, he's in this cubby hole.
Everybody does drive right by us.
I almost did, but anyway, I want to thank you for your time, and I was excited about this because you know a lot of people I'm interviewing I don't really know, but I have an opportunity to interview some good friends, so we can actually touch base on a personal level. But again, I want to thank you and your wife and your kids for allowing you to spend some time to come on here today and tell your story about Mummery.
Yeah, man. Yeah, just a heads up too. February 26th. You and the family aren't doing anything. It's a Saturday. We're at all the string bands are at Renault Winery over at Egg Harbor.
My wife would love it. Renault Winery.
Yeah, it's Mummer's Mardi Gras.
Nice.
So all the bands will be in costume performing. There's ice skating. There's I think umbrella design for the kids. Very family oriented. It's free to get in. I think parking's $10, but they give you a food and drink voucher. It'd be a great little documentary, I think, to go with all these interviews as well, if you're able to make it.
It might be a shot. So do me a solid, Joe. Could you tell everybody out there in the YouTube world to give me a shout out, Joe?
Yeah, give John Levy a shout out. Go subscribe to his YouTube channel. I like the videos. I think what John's doing is good for us. You know, get some behind the scenes footage of your everyday members. You see the captain's interviews every New Year. You don't really get many interviews with the everyday mummer. So hopefully this can take off, and it's definitely a good thing for us.
Oh, like you said, Joe, I mean, you got the Mummers Museum, right? That talks about, well, I don't know if there's any video. Again, you have your captain's biography prior to your guys' performance, but what about the members? Okay. And not only that, everybody has a story.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like I said in the beginning, my story is not as extensive as the last few guys you interviewed. But you'll probably get somebody who maybe is even newer than I am. And there's definitely guys out there that there's guys with 50, 60 years in this thing. So hopefully you grab some more guys and this thing takes off for you.
Well, Joe, you have a good day. Tell everybody John Levy said hello, and we'll see each other soon.
We'll do. Take it easy, John.
All right, see ya.